Everybody, this is Brian. Welcome to Chiller Night Live. We're from 8 p.m. Eastern Time until 9 o'clock. We'll talk about things horror, science fiction, paranormal. You picked a topic. We'll make a show out of it, by golly. Stephanie says, hey, y'all. Hey, Stephanie, thanks for joining us. Now, tonight, we do not have a... There's my baby Ava saying hello. Hey, baby. Thanks for joining us. Now, for those of you on YouTube, you can't see the Facebook comments and vice versa. But I can see all. All right, PBR is on. He has nothing to say, nothing at all, but he's just letting us know he's on. All right. well, hey, PBR, thanks for joining us. The strong silent type, no doubt. Jason says, "Ghoul evening, Jason. Thanks for joining us." PBR, what's going on? All right, so Ava says, my phone must be screwing up because you're either too big or too small. I don't know. I think I'm like I am every week. What? No. Well, I mean, yeah, but what? What do you need? I can't open the door. But is anybody, well, let me ask you this.
I just want to show you what it looks like.
Is anybody else having any issues out there? One moment here. Yeah, I don't know.
And then if I go to right.
Yeah, I don't know what's causing.
Okay, I'm just letting you know.
All right. Thank you. Well, let's see if anyone else is having any issues. Are all of you seeing and hearing me okay? John Wayne says, hello, everyone. Hey, John Wayne, thanks for joining us. Stephanie says, no. Okay, so you're not having any issues? Okay, well, hopefully not. Al says, hey, everyone, it's Chiller Night. It is indeed. Thanks for joining us, Al. PBR says, I gave you a wave emoji, but maybe it didn't show. No, it didn't, but... Oh, there it's showing up now as I scroll back up. All right. There we go. I was wondering what was going on. Okay. Tom says, no issues. All right, cool. Ava says, I'm going to YouTube. All right, get on over there to YouTube. Something's messed up in Facebook, evidently. Jason hears me loud and clear. SBC says, it's okay on my computer. John Wayne. PBR says sound and visual both fine here. Okay, cool. Must just be something on Facebook. Although, is everybody on YouTube? Everybody's on YouTube. Okay. Well, if we get any more Facebook viewers, I will see if it just might be something on the app there. Jason says, hello, Eva. All right. Sound and visual both fine here. Okay. All right, I think we are good to go. And anyone see any good horror movies lately? I told you about the one that we saw last week, of course, Ava and I, and we talked about this a little bit. Godzilla -1, that was the last one that we watched. And we very much, both of us enjoyed that. Now, I'm kind of a given, you know, because I've always liked Godzilla movies, but it was good that Ava liked it. She's not even a Godzilla fan, but she enjoyed Godzilla -1. It was a very well done movie. So Brian says hello all. Hey Brian, thanks for joining us. Brian, you're on Facebook. Are you seeing and hearing me okay? Ava was on Facebook a little earlier and she was having a little bit of trouble there watching it on her phone. It might have just been the app on her phone. So hopefully Brian can see me okay. Jason says, I'm pondering ordering Manos and Torgo action figures. Yes, that sounds like a good thing to do, actually. What did I just do? Oh, look at that. That's kind of cool. My logo is over top. Well, I'll fix that. There we go. because I was about the reason I was looking on there so intently is because I was going to put the oh, I don't have the picture I had up last time of the new Manos movie. Manos Returns. We had that where we were talking about that last week. Paul, if you're on here, hopefully Ava says okay, everything looks better now. Okay, she is on. Brian says yes, everything is good. Ava says everything looks better now. You're both on Facebook, so that's cool. Stephanie says, would seeing the birds on the big screen in October for the first time ever count? Oh, yeah? Yeah, heck, we'll throw that in there if you enjoyed it. Well, even if you didn't, what did or didn't you like about it? So, no, but that would definitely count, sure. Jason says, iTunes has Godzilla -1 in black and white. I can't wait to watch that. Great film. Very cool. We saw it on Netflix, I believe is what we saw it on. Super Pappy says audio, video. All right, we have audio and video. I think it's okay. Super Pappy, now you know what? Super Pappy and PBR Street, the emojis there's a delay there for some reason because PBR popped in there earlier and he had some emojis, and I was just thinking he forgot to write something on there because it took probably about 20 seconds before it popped on there. So all right, giving me thumbs up there, I appreciate that. Thanks for joining us. Stephanie says, OMG, are you okay, John? Oh, geesh. Okay, I had to look back up here and see. He says, I was attacked by a dog today. I was able to get the bike between me and the dog. Then the owner of the dog punched me in the face. What? Now my nose is hurting and he's in trouble with the police. Well, that's just a bad day. Holy cow. You were attacked by a dog. Well, I hope you were able to get the bike in between you and the dog before it did any damage to you. Not that the owner hitting you in the face didn't do a little bit of damage to you, but I'd rather be hit in the face than bit by a dog. So I hope you're okay, and I'm glad that you're joining us. Maybe we can take an hour out of your day. I hope that didn't ruin your whole day. That's kind of a bummer thing to have happen, but maybe we can make a lighthearted hour for you, and we will give it our best honest effort anyway. So thank you for joining us, and hopefully we just have a fun hour here. So we'll try to make it fun for you. So you were good enough to join us even though your day's probably not going the best. PBR says, long live Manos. Oh, yeah, living a lot longer than I thought he would. I will tell you that. There's Paul. Speaking of Manos, there's Paul. All right, adding insult to injury, Tom says, yeah, that just sounded like a heck of a day. Wow. Okay, now D has joined, and I don't see anything there, but give it time. I bet we'll get some emojis. D, I was talking to, mention this to PBR Street Gang and to Super Pappy. They both came on, and their emojis, they had some emojis, and it took a while before they loaded. So I'm not sure what's going on tonight with YouTube, but thanks for joining us. I don't see yet what you sent. Probably some emojis. Aha! There's an emoji. It just popped up there now. So I don't know why we're having a delay on that, but we are nonetheless tonight. It's probably something to do with BlackRock and their cyber. I don't know. Paul says $60 is a bit tight, but I'm really thinking, oh my, yes. Well, I don't know. That is quite a bit. But you know, if it's something that you would be so proud to have, and I have no doubt that you would. Super Pappy says, wish you were showing a movie tonight too. Yes, we used to have the live chiller night Theaters, hosted by Jack Shadow. And then I stood in for Jack Shadow for the last year or so just to keep the show alive while I was building the escape rooms and the haunted house at my store. So I had to just back away from. I had to basically Jack Shadow retired, hosting Chiller Night Theater. That doesn't mean he won't come back at some point, but I know that I had to pull the plug on the show at that point. But it would have been fun. It would be fun to be playing movies and to be doing this in addition to this. So I know what you mean. PPR says maybe the emoji issue is related to the worldwide computer troubles from that security update. Yeah. Who knows? Paul says, did anyone else see Manos Return yet? Very good. Oh, you liked it? Well, there's a surprise. Paul gives it his endorsement, so Paul, was it really? Was it really? Or are you just hanging on to... It's okay. It's okay. You know, I am a huge Star Wars fan of the original Star Wars. The original Star Wars. And I can admit, you know, seeing the new stuff that I'm not a fan of that. But so I'm saying if you didn't like it, it's okay. But you probably, I'm sure you did. We will not judge here. No worries, just reacting to Johnny's incident. OMG, she says. D says. Oh yeah. Tom says we're seeing the emojis right away. Just you, Brian. Ah. Wow, that kind of makes sense. All right. John Wayne says just a little bit of blood and hurting nose. Nothing that will knock out this old cowboy out. I read that wrong. Sorry, Joe. You had the perfect little phrase there too, and I messed it up. Paul says, "Well, I'm glad to hear that, nonetheless." Paul says, "Brian, can I borrow some money?" I don't know. For Torgo operations on his hand. What? Is this something dealing with the movie? Is this something that happened to us? Oh, his hands of fate. Super Pappy says, I really like the live movies. Oh, did you used to watch the live movies? I enjoyed that. And PPR says, we miss Jack. Interesting. Because I've been having this discussion this week about if we bring back Jack Shadow hosting Chiller Night Theater, I wouldn't really necessarily want to do the show without Jack. I didn't mind coming in here and doing me as the stand-in host, but that wasn't my intent for Chiller Night Theater. I was only doing that to keep the show alive. You know, during that time, while I just didn't have any. Speaking of time, I didn't have any. So, but if I do bring it back, it would have to be under certain conditions. I'd have to, I don't know, but I am thinking about it. I'm trying to figure out how to best bring the show back. So we will see. But if we do bring it back, I think it would be cool. I think it'd be really cool to bring it back live. You know, like we did here. And maybe, just maybe, it would be a little better. So we'll see. We will see. Paul says, I was just thinking about that. Let's see. Daniel says, what about the Star Wars? Is that, I don't know, there's such a delay from the time I said that. Daniel says, I hear you, but I don't see you. I don't know what's going on then, because Ava was having issues on Facebook earlier too. Super Pappy says, bad movies, cool host. All right, I know Jack would love to hear that. So, well, thank you. Paul says, no, it was really good. All right. Paul says it was really good. All right, so I'll just have to take his word for it. Oh, I don't see me rushing out into the living room and watching it after this. Um, all right. Maybe I'm sure it's not in the public domain. A top quality movie like that. I don't think I would be able to play it on Chiller Night Theater. I would, Paul. Paul, I would play that. I would play that, but I'm sure I could not get away with doing that on Chiller Night Theater. That's my that's my excuse. No, no, I think that's my reason. Stephanie says, speaking of live movie, I'm currently watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy on one of the HBO channels. Oh wow! Uh, I remember one time when those first came out on. I don't even know if they were on the discs yet. They might have still been on the VHS. I don't remember, but it was whatever year they came out on, so you could rent them. I, you know, I very just stupidly, probably now looking back on it, got all three of them and watched those darn things in one day. In one day. And I will never do something like that again. I kept falling asleep, and every time I'd wake up, somebody was mad at somebody, and there was a big epic battle. I'm like, how many of these can you have? But it was happening, and I'm sure it was a fine movie or fine movies, but I couldn't stay with it for some reason. But they were pretty epic though, weren't they? Brian says Academy Award winning Godzilla -1. I know we were mentioning that earlier, and that was we really enjoyed that. John says if you have to break a bad habit, try smoking or gambling. But here's an addiction worth not only having, it's 100% free. It's time again for Chiller Night Live. This is Crozak the Grand. And now here's our favorite host and enabler. Here's Bryan Hogue. Well, thank you, Crozak the Grand and John. Thank you very much for that. Your always stellar intros. Those are those are always well worth seeing and always well worth reading on my end. Anyway, I like them. Very cool. Daniel says, Gemma says hello. Hey, you tell her I said hello, and I appreciate her watching the show with you. So, thank you both for joining us on this hour, this Chiller Night Live hour. Paul says it's on Tubi. Oh my gosh, is it really? It's on Tubi. I wonder if it's on YouTube. I don't know if it's on Tubi. Now, first of all, it just came out in 2018, so I know it's not like a public domain movie, but if it were, Paul, I would play it once we start. If we start, Chiller Night Theater back up, I'm sure Jack Shadow would have no problem showing Manos Return. So. We'll see. John Wayne says, since Biden has resigned, I have a suggestion. Manos as president. I'm sure you have one vote out there, Paul. Paul says, remember Manos twisted off his hand in the original. No, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. I remember watching it because I believe I hosted. I think I was standing in for Jack Shadow on that particular episode. I think so. And I think I hosted. So I know I watched it with you guys. And I didn't watch it before. Like sometimes I'll screen the movies. And then there were times when I was standing in, I didn't have any time to even screen the movie. So a lot of times I was watching it right when you guys were. So, and that was kind of cool, but I don't remember. I gotta be honest. I don't remember when he twisted his hand off. Super Peppy says, please do. With the Chiller Night Theaters, I would like to. This is totally cool. Paul says, Manos would be a great president. Daniel says, you need to contact the Sci-Fi Channel and put your show on there. Maybe. I would like to start my own Roku channel, the Chiller Night channel. I think that would be awesome. And I would love to have live shows. And when I'm ready, I think it would be cool to bring back Chiller Night Theater. I would love to bring even back Chiller Chat. I thought that those were cool. So I have all the physical stuff almost done at the store. And if you're new on here, you don't know what the heck I'm talking about. I have, let's see. This is that's the doorway. That's not a really good picture of it but there's the new sign above the door, Chiller Night. It is a store in the Cranberry Mall in Venango County. There actually is, behind the counter, is the entrance to Jack Shadow's House of Terror, which looks nice and dark and spooky in October. We have the Witching Hour Escape Room. We also have Zombie Outbreak. You know, I lost some of my images right before the show here because I had, I don't know, I renamed a file. So that did it. Jack Shadow's House of Terror Haunted House will be coming back up in October. There's a few pictures of it. That's pretty cool to walk through, by the way. A couple clowns. There, a little werewolf, puppet guy, and of course Jack Shadows. Jack Shadows there as well. So, and I also have just merch. There's some candies there. Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, and there's some like little Ouija board. I won't touch those things in real life, but the candies aren't that bad. What else we got? Just some really cool canvas prints, like 8x12 canvas prints of the monsters. Not just the classic monsters. We got Michael Myers, we got Frankenstein, we got Freddy, we got Dracula. It's pretty cool. And then we have some bobbleheads up there, Ghostface, Pennywise from It, Bigfoot. We got Bigfoot. We've got all kinds of stuff like that. And these things are kind of cool. They're called, I think they're called Tiny Terrors. Probably about that big. And I don't know if you can quite see that, but the Bela Lugosi one as Dracula looks really, really cool. It's the likeness of Bela Lugosi. So I got him and Frankenstein and the bride and this little Grim Reaper guy. So, but that's what I do. That keeps me off the streets. And kind of what I do on the side. Richard says, enjoy Jack Shadow's House of Terror on Saturday. Oh, the video I did from the store? Yeah. I've been making those little live videos from the store when I'm sitting behind the counter. I start showing some of the merchandise. A lot of my merchandise hasn't showed up, but some of it has. That's cool. John Wayne says, is the second Manos movie on YouTube? No, Paul says it's on Tubi. And it's Manos Return. And that is another image that I lost right before the show because I renamed a file, so that just threw everything in chaos. John Y says, hi everyone, my name is John and I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. This is my first time here in real time as I usually watch the recordings. Being a longtime horror movie fan, I was drawn to your show, Brian. Oh, thank you, John. Well, I appreciate you joining us tonight. I'm happy that you're here live and you get to interact with me and with the other viewers. So we're happy to have you here tonight. And we're all obviously big fans of horror or science fiction, anything that I just throw under the Chiller umbrella. And, we can talk about paranormal things as well. Jason says, Iga versus Manos is Money in the Bank. Oh, how could it not be? Iga versus Manos. All right, what do you think? I'm sure we know what Paul's position. I got to be honest. I don't know. I don't remember. I know I hosted the movie, but I don't remember. It was Manos. Does he have like? Is he magic? I just don't remember. Paul, you're probably like, what? How could you not know this? But I just don't remember. But I know Iga. Oh, big caveman. I mean, unless Manos had some really powerful magic mojo there to fight that, I think Manos would be a goner. I'm just being honest. I'm telling it like I see it. Tom says, hi, John. Welcome. Yes. Yes, welcome. Richard says, some TV channels need to have a Planet of the Apes weekend. Oh, you mean, you mean the original ones? That'd be awesome. I have all of those. I have the all the originals on VHS. No, wait a minute. Did I get those on disc? No, I think I have them on. I still have them on video. And the series, I have. Remember the series in what, 74? I think it was in 1974. I think it might have only been on for one season, but I have all those on disc. And I even at one time I got a bootleg VHS tape one year at a comic convention, probably 20 some years ago, that had the animated. Remember the animated Planet of the Apes on Saturdays, and this must have been in a different timeline or something, because the apes had like little prop planes and jeeps and stuff that they would drive around. Planet of the Apes movies, we didn't see any motor controlled vehicles that I remember, but that would be cool. I love the Planet of the Apes. John says maybe he could come back for a Halloween special show. Maybe. Never know. I'll be honest, I would love for that to happen. I would love for that to happen. But remember last year, I think it was last year, or maybe the year before, I don't remember, but I remember, like I said, we're going to try to bring Jack back for a Halloween special. And I didn't get to. I was so bombarded with everything I was doing. So I felt bad because I had alluded to, I said I was going to try, but even that, I mean, that would be cool. I like that idea. I'll say that. I've already said too much, Adam says, are you buying Elizono's book? I'm sure I said that wrong. Imminent when it comes out? I don't know. I'm not familiar with that, Adam. I'm not familiar with that. What's that about? Not seen it advertised yet on YouTube. Paul says he's not seen it advertised yet on YouTube for Manos Returns. Jason says Manos Returns is definitely in YouTube. I tried twice to watch it. It's a chore and had to stop. Oh, there's our answer. Manos Returns, the new one. The new one's on YouTube. Okay. We'll have to see if that is public domain. John says, thanks, guys. I grew up in the late 60s and early 70s watching all the horror movie hosts of the time. The spirit of the show brings back a lot of memories. I did the same thing. I grew up, I was born in the late 60s, so I don't remember the 60s, but I do remember the 70s, loved the 70s, loved the early 80s. That was kind of when my childhood and all the cool things that I remember, like my horror host when I was growing up was Chili Billy Cardell from Pittsburgh. It was when he first started, the station was called WIIC, and then it later switched to WPXI. And it's less than an hour away from where I live. And then I was living in Pittsburgh for throughout the 90s, almost the entire 90s. So I loved Pittsburgh, and I loved growing up watching Schiller Theater. And I actually got to meet and talk to Bill Cardell numerous times. Well, I met with him on the occasion when I filmed him, but we would talk on the phone. I've talked on the phone with him numerous times, and it was never, it was so cool because there was this guy who I used to watch on TV every Saturday night, and a lot of people did. It was very, very hugely popular show, and then I would talk to him, sit and talk to him, and I would talk to him for. I don't think we ever had a conversation that was less than half an hour. I mean, he was very generous with his time, and he was very supportive of what I was doing, and with Jack Shadow, the character, Chiller Night Theater, instead of Chiller Theater, and that he was, I didn't even change the name until I ran that by him first, because it was so similar. It was similar as a homage to him, to he and what he was doing. So he actually thanked me for continuing with the Chiller spirit. And I really thought that was awesome. So I know exactly what you mean. And that's why I do all this. I just love it. John says, thanks for all the gracious welcomes. I'm not sure if I'm the only person left watching old black and white horror movies of the past. Universal Studios, Hammer, etc. No, you're definitely not. This group loves that stuff. Absolutely loves that stuff. For the most part, we have good taste in horror movies. And then Paul likes Manos. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. He knows that. But no, we do. We do love all the horror movies of the past and present. But I mean, yeah, we have a love for the old chillers of yesteryear. So you are definitely in the right place. You're very welcome here. Tom says, where did you grow up, John? Who was the horror host in your neck of the woods? Yes. Jason says, wow, the haunted house looks amazing. Ah, thank you, Jason. Thank you very much. I have some changes to make, but getting the poster made, changes to make. I have to meet with the actors here pretty soon, have a meeting. And I do want to say, I'm going to get caught up here, and then I'm going to, it's 8:32. Let me do something real quick, because this is very important. I want, if you're new here, or if you're not, if you just, I do want to always tell you about Chiller Night Theater. It still plays every Saturday night, and you can watch it on Stream TV. You can see the logo up here. Stream TV, you can find it here, streammedia.tv. Streammedia.tv. Now that's every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Now that's the same time, night and time, that it's been on since we've known each other, since I've started doing this particular program, the Chiller Night live show, the pre-show back in the day, every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. They show 4 movies back to back. They still show 4 movies back to back every Saturday night. And then also there is oh, don't tell me I lost that. No, here we go. Also, jeez, I'm telling you folks, I renamed a file, and I should have known better. Because I did that before, and I lost access to photos. Okay, so enough of that. Chiller Night Theater is playing on New York 48 WWON TV every Saturday at, I like to kind of almost say midnight, but it's not quite. Saturdays at 11:58 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, on New York 48 WWON TV. So hope you get a chance to check that out. And if you don't know where the heck to find New York 48 WWON TV, just go to, if you want to go to Chiller Night Escape Experience, that I'm trying to change to just Chiller Night. That's all. But I cannot do it. I've done this in the past with no problem, but apparently it's a big deal. But anyways, Chiller Night Escape Experience Facebook page, the Jack Shadow's House of Terror Facebook page, or the my mind just went blank, Chiller Night Theater Facebook page. If you go there, I post every Saturday. Every Saturday I post that same image, and I put a picture of Jack Shadow in there, and or the Witch and Elvon Knock, and so go there, and I have the link. I have the link right on there. So check that out. Check it out. Paul says, Jason, 4Loco would help you with that. It'd make it easier to watch. Ah, there you go. There's some advice there from Paul on how to watch or to watch Manos on YouTube. So Stephanie says, that clown dude's scarier than Art the Clown. Oh, Art is so mean, isn't he? Holy cow. Ava and I watched the Terrifier movies just the other week for the first time. I've seen this character. I've seen Art the Clown, but I've never seen those movies. Wow. Wow, that guy, he's got some problems. He's got some serious issues. Let's see. That one guy, yeah, the clown though that you're talking about, the one guy playing him is Chuck Griffin. Who Chuck was he has been in the haunted houses since I mean, he was in the first early ones. I mean, from 2006 that I did. So he's been doing this for a while. He has a lot of fun. He's okay. John says, I'm from Maryland originally and grew up watching Washington, D.C. broadcasting. The two main horror hosts I grew up watching were Sir Graves Ghastly and Count Gore de Vol. Oh, very cool. Very cool. I said that right. Sir Graves Ghastly and Count Gore de Vol. That's neat. John Wayne says, you could ask people who made the Manos film if you could show it on the show. They're probably almost as big fans of Manos as Paul. Yeah, maybe so. You're right. Never hurts to ask. D says, I saw Tiny Terrors on your live Facebook feed earlier. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, there are... Where's the picture at? Oh, there they are. Yep. They're cool little things. John says, that sounds pretty cool. I'd like to see Brian's store. He's from Pittsburgh, PA area, isn't he? I am not that far from Pittsburgh. In fact, right now, I'm a lot closer than my store is to Pittsburgh. I am less than an hour's drive from Pittsburgh, from where I live. So my store is actually like in Venango County. There's a Cranberry Mall in Butler County, which is real close to Pittsburgh. It's just on the outside of Pittsburgh. So that one is very, very super close to Pittsburgh. My store, however, is up. It takes me 40 minutes to drive. It's a where's that? Yeah, 40 minutes. It's 30 miles north of here. So it's actually, so that puts it a little bit about an hour and a half away from Pittsburgh travel wise. It's funny. I've heard foreign people say that, you know, we always, you know, in distances it's measured. We do it in times. Well, how far are you from Pittsburgh? Oh, I'm about 58 minutes. What's that? But I'm not far from Pittsburgh. Not far from Pittsburgh. My store's a little further, however, though. Tom says, cool, John. I know of Gore Vidal. I was in the Norfolk area. That was covered by the Body Bowman. Oh, that's neat. Manos would win, Paul says. Paul doesn't just say that. Paul declares it. Triumphantly declares Manos would win. It's in all caps. I don't know. He is supernatural, Paul says. Okay, if he's supernatural, then I remember something to do with some kind of spell or something there at the end. But I don't know. That's against just an average mortal. I mean, we're talking about Iga, the caveman. So I don't know. You still feel that confident, though, I take it. All right. He says to John, why, good evening and welcome. Paul says, I think that Comet has done Planet of the Apes Marathon. Oh, really? That's cool. Those are the best. John says, Tom, I lived in Virginia Beach in 1974-76, had relatives in Norfolk, spent my sophomore and junior high school years in Virginia Beach, played football against Norfolk schools. Oh, that's very cool. I miss the 70s. I miss the 80s, but there's just something about the 70s that, man, oh man, I'm just longing for it. Somebody give me a time machine. I want to go back. I want to visit. Planet of the Apes cartoon was great, PBR says. Yeah, it was a little weird, but I liked it. Al says, yes, we need Jack for a Halloween special. I think he would love that idea. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. That would be really, really cool. How far behind? Oh my gosh, I had no idea I was this far behind. Folks, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit just for the sake that, so I'm not talking that many minutes behind you, and I know that they're oh, Super Pappy says Sammy Terry here in Indiana. Oh, that was your horror host. Very cool. Very cool. I've heard of Sammy Terry. I believe I've heard of that. D says not a classic, but currently watching the Haunting of Hill House on Netflix. For me, has a, I was looking to see if I read that right. For me, it has a lot of the old throwback suspenseful movie vibes, and has Henry Thomas Elliott from E.T. Oh, okay, all grown up. Huh? You know, I think Gabe and I watched that. If that's been around for a few years. Steffi says, I would like to say that haunted house on the background looks more like a castle. Yeah. You know what? Also, if you look really close, you can see Jack's shadow moving around up there. So, but it is a castle. It is Castle Shadow, Jack Shadow's abode, where he hosts Chiller Night Theater, or hosted, and maybe will again. You never know. John says, is that the show with Jack Shadow showing the older horror movies? Yes, Chiller Night Theater. That's what that show was. And like I said, you never know. That might be back. There was no way I could keep up with it with all the building that I had to do. It took me 2 years to get the store, you know, with the haunted house, and then I have a couple of horror-themed escape rooms that I built, and then my last addition to the store was the store, the actual like retail part of it with the merchandise. So I just started that, so I don't have a lot of merchandise yet. So, but building it up slowly. Jason says, welcome again, John. Why? We have done many shows in Hammer Horror and Universal Monsters and Creature Features, etc. This is a great place to be on Tuesday nights. Yes. Stephanie says, I've seen the Terrifier movie trailers. I can see why. Oh, man. John says, and Art Declan is returning for another movie. That's right. This October. I believe it's in October that they're coming up with the Terrifier 3. So, I'll tell you what. Those are pretty gory. I mean, they're pretty gory. I mean, I like horror, but you know, but how can I say that? When I was growing up I was a teenager in the 80s, I loved, I know I had to think about this when I was watching the Terrifiers, particularly the second one. It was just so darn gory, you know, and it was like, you know, I was sitting there like, but then I have to think back, like, is this what it was like for me when I was a teenager, growing up watching some of the stuff Jason was doing and Freddy Krueger? Is that what it's like? It just now, if I were to see them, which is kind of like, I'm putting it on that level. If this were me now, if I were my age back in the 80s watching Freddy and Jason and all the gore stuff that they did, would that be my reaction? Because I'm not a big fan of gore anymore. I'm not. I mean, I'm sure I enjoyed it just like any other teenage kid growing up in the 80s. But I'm not a big fan of it now. I'm just not a big fan of it now. Don't know why. I guess I much prefer to watch the older stuff. I always have, really. But particularly now, I think I just really, really like the old ones better. But that Art the Clown, he was a scary guy. Scary looking. John says, man, it seems like it hit the mother lode with you guys when it comes to getting together with other horror sci-fi enthusiasts like me. My wife is convinced I'm demented. No, no, have her watch. She'll soon. I don't know about soon, but hopefully we'll wean her over. Hopefully, anyways. I don't know if she's a fan of horror movies, but we also talk about other things. I mean, we try to keep it chiller, but I will admit, I mean, sometimes we just branch off, and that's okay too. And we reel ourselves back in. John says the horror movie host that I've seen in Boston was the Ghoul and a surreal host named Simon, who hosted Simon's Sanatorium back in the day when I was a younger man's Fez. Huh. The Ghoul back in Boston. Let's see, and then John says, I went to WVU for college, about 90 miles or so south of the Berg. All my dorm roommates used to drive me crazy about all the Pittsburgh sports teams. John says, okay, John, we'll call this little group the Dementos. The Dementos! I like it. All right. Tell your wife she has inspired us to be called the Dementos. Stephanie says, hey, Dee, the House on Haunting of... I keep wanting to say House on Haunted Hill. The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix looks absolutely beautiful. John says, boy, I don't want to have dementedness osmosis to everyone else. Ah, that's all right. John Wayne says, idea, you can ask the person who makes the custom Manos action figures if you can sell them in the store, and if he can make you custom Jack Shadow figures. I wouldn't mind getting custom-made Jack Shadow figures. I don't know if I would sell Manos figures, but here's what I could do. I could put that to the online part of the store, as I will be opening up. I will be expanding the store. I will be expanding it to an e-commerce store. So I haven't done that yet because I'm just like, so busy. But I'm getting there. I'm actually pretty happy with my progress here lately because I'm moving along. I'm getting things done. So so that's possible there. But I would love to see a Jack Shadow figure. And I think it would sell. I think it would sell in the store. You know, especially around Halloween, through the haunted house. I think people would, you know, because I mean, even the kids, when the kids come through, and then I have adults who come through, and they see Jack Shadow and say, "I used to go through your haunted houses when I was a little kid." Like, oh, that's cool. It's cool, but I'm thinking like, geez, am I getting up there that much in age? But that's like the horror host thing. I think it's cool that these kids who are now adults have that memory. You know, there was something kind of, I don't know, there was something just kind of spooky and forbidden yet comedic about the horror hosts. You know, they had all the right stuff, just like the old EC comics. You know, the narrator. You always had the narrator, which was, you know, in this case was a host for the horror shows. But you know, it was something scary going on, like the Crypt Keeper. You know, but they did it in a, you know, with the puns and the comedy to offset the horror. And I don't know. It's just neat that people were having those kind of memories. But even the kids coming through now, who maybe don't know the skeleton guy's name, you know, they'll say, "Oh, you're the guy on the poster." This is, you know, and that's kind of cute to see that that the kids are recognizing that. But I've had kids walk up and you know, Jack Shadow, I'm there, you know, giving the dialogue, and you know, and it's a creepier Jack at first, and then over the years I've mixed it because people were so expecting to see the Jack Shadow host, from Chiller Night Theater. So there was a kind of a little bit of an expectation to see that lighter side of him. So I think I've done a good job in kind of amalgamating those characteristics into the haunted house Jack. But I've had the kids, just wanting to give Jack Shadow a hug, or drawing him their pictures of, they'll want to give Jack Shadow the picture, and or it's over the years has been the strangest experience for me, because when I first started having that kind of reaction from the kids, I wasn't expecting that. But then started making sense to me, because I was like, oh, okay. The parents, we watch you every Saturday night. Then it started making sense to me, like, oh, that's why they're not afraid, because that's who they're watching on TV. So that was cool. I like that. But that was a neat experience for me as well. John Wayne says, oh, I read that, sorry. Let's see. John Wynn says, good idea, Brian. I'll just sit back and listen. This is a cool experience for me, especially after a long day at work. Oh, that's very cool. Well, I'm really happy that you came here. We hope you come back, and always a good time. Again, just a lighthearted hour of the week that I hope, my hope is it just kind of takes everyone's mind off of all the, whatever. It could be something at work, could be something on the news, but hopefully we just give somebody a better day or a better hour out of their day, like John earlier had a dog attacking him, and the dog owner, I'm so sorry that happened to you, but I hope that we gave you a little bit of a lighthearted hour to take your mind off of that, and then I just reminded you. So no, I hope you come back. John Y says, how about the latest Evil Dead movie that came out about a year ago? I didn't see that. I did not see that, I gotta say. Man, there was so much blood and gore in that movie that any blood bank would be put to shame. Is that right? I didn't see that one. John says, I guess Svengoolie is probably the best horror movie host of our day. He plays all the classics, and he's pretty funny too. I believe he's from Chicago. Yeah, that's where that show airs. Yeah, I wish I had a studio backing me. I wish I had a crew. I wish I had license to play, more than just public domain. I wish I had all that, but that would be. So this guy, Svengoolie is living I don't know, he's probably living out his childhood dream of being a horror host, and he's nationwide, so good on him. Tom says, Jack Shadow needs a humor side. Chiller Night Theater wouldn't be as good without it. Right. I agree with that. I didn't know how to quite transition him from The Haunt when I first started The Haunt. The first 2 years, because I didn't start hosting until 2008. So I still had the Haunted House 2006 and 2007, where Jack Shadow was just, he was just creepy. He was just this very, I don't know how to put it. I mean, just a very, kind of like Tales from the Crypt without the jokes. I mean, it was a very creepy character. And then he started getting, and so I was like, how do I take that character and make him into a horror host? Because a horror host, you got your fun side of the so. But it didn't take too long. I actually started transitioning those characteristics, pretty well. And it didn't take me that long. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. So, but I agree with that. John says, you have been enjoying and being entertained watching Chiller Night Live for another Tuesday night. This is Crozak the Grand reminding you that we may be in the middle of summer, but there's now only 100 days left until Halloween. Until next Tuesday, stay chilled and keep thrilled. Enjoy. Now go home. John says, that's the best part of the lightheartedness that's in high demand these days. Yes, it certainly is. It does me good as well. Super Pappy says, there are many hosts that are better. Sven just got lucked out with the MeTV and sponsors. D says, Stephanie Press, I'm only on episode 6 of 10, but so far worth it. Oh, about that show you were talking about. That sounds, I think we watched that. 8:56. Oh, we got minutes. We have several minutes left. I keep thinking I gotta hurry. Okay, John Wayne says, I had the same experience with Halloween. I used to make it much scarier, but today I do more for the children. Ava says, have a great week, everyone. She's on Facebook, and you guys, most of you are on YouTube, and John is on, John Soto's on Facebook as well, and Brian was on Facebook. But so if you're on YouTube, you can't see Facebook comments and vice versa. That's, if you don't see that comment, that's why. Stephanie says, take care, y'all. See you next week. All right, Stephanie, thanks for joining us. John says, very original character, that Jack Shadow. Not the usual motive of all the other hosts who take on the roles of vampires. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. There was a little bit of a... maybe next week I'll talk about the evolution of Jack Shadow and how I came up with that. What I was thinking when I came up with the character and how that came to be is I was not even supposed to play that character. I wasn't even supposed to be a costume character in my haunted house that year. But at the last minute, which is, one of those weird twists of fate type of things, the actor bailed out. So I had written the dialogue, so I said, okay, I gotta fill in. I can't have the greeter, because it was like a 3-minute speech, to set the atmosphere and everything. So, but I'll get to, we'll talk about that next week. Tom says, okay, all you Dementos, see you next week. All right, Tom. Yes, and all you Dementos. John Wayne says, what topic shall we talk about for next week? I don't know. I was thinking maybe I'll do that because it's a little, it's 8:58. Maybe I'll do that. We'll have a rehash of the origin of Jack Shadow and how I got into all this. I know that's kind of self-serving on my end, but I am. It has been. Let's do that, and then we'll go back to, maybe you guys can throw me out a topic next week at the end of the show for us to do the week after. All right, so it's just a little easier for me this way. Another excellent show, Brian. Thank you again for doing this. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. Tom says, Manos, the twist of fate. Where's, I was going to say, where's Paul? Did he leave? I must have. But anyways, we got a minute left, so we'll just cap it here, folks. Thank you very much for joining me and each other. Have a good night. Have a good chiller night, and we'll see you next week.